Hello everyone, this is Kevin here, and I hope you've all had a wonderful Thanksgiving break. Now, this year, 2022, was my first full year of being a piano teacher, and I'm extremely grateful for my chances to be able to spread the joy of music and teach more people how to play piano. And because of that, for this Thanksgiving, I decided to start officially making a new series for my Instagram and my YouTube, which I'll be teaching you guys how to play piano for absolutely free. Of course, I'll be starting from zero, teaching you the basics, and eventually we'll go on. I'll teach you how to identify a couple notes, we'll learn a couple songs maybe. Anyways, more to come on that. Today is episode number 1, and I am planning to teach you guys the very basics of what is on a piano, how to properly sit with your body posture and your hand posture, and finally, finger numbers. Let's get into it. Now here's a piano. I have a grand piano. Quite lucky to have that. You also have upright pianos and digital keyboards. If you have a normal piano, I'm saying full size keyboards or uprights or grands, you'll have 88 keys, separated into both white and black keys. And you'll have 3 pedals, 2 pedals, or 1 pedal or no pedal, depending on what you have. Most modern pianos will have 3 pedals and stuff like that. And of course, you're sitting down and using your fingers to play while operating pedals while reading 2 lines of music. That is the piano. And of course, the black keys are usually grouped into groups of 2s and groups of 3s, except for this one odd black key at the end. Unless you have a Busendorf or Imperial, I guess you could have extra black keys. But anyways, that's the piano. And of course, when you're reading music, you brought up the music stand, but since today I'm just doing basics, I'm not going to need it. And here's the fall board, where after you finish practicing, you can close it to prevent dust from collecting. Now let's talk about the posture of playing. First thing first, whenever you're playing, you always want to make sure you're sitting tall and straight. No hunchback like this. You don't want to put your legs on top like this. You always want to make sure you're sitting tall and straight. Back straight, facing straight at the piano. And you want to make sure you're sitting at the center of the piano. Now, if you have an actual piano, this is pretty easy to identify because usually the logo of the piano will be at the center. But if you have a keyboard, that's kind of a different thing. And you also want to make sure that you have the correct distance to the piano. You don't want to be too far away where you're playing like stretching, and you also don't want to be way too close where you're hunched up like this. If you have an actual piano, you can check the distance by stretching your fist out, and if you're just about able to reach the fall board, you should be at the correct distance. Now, of course, that is only if you have an actual piano or a high-end keyboard, but if you just have a keyboard and you don't have the fall board, the way you can check is you can put your hand on the piano, and if you're just about at a 90-degree angle with your arm, you should be nicely set. Now let's talk about the finger posture. When you're playing piano, you never want to play like this, where it's completely flat. You also don't want to be very, very, very stiff, tense. You want to have a relaxed C shape when you're playing. And the way you do that is you can put your hands on your kneecap. Kind of think about it as a mold where you can mold your hands. And then just kind of put it on the piano. A natural, relaxed C shape. And finally, let's talk about your finger numbers. Now, we have 5 fingers on each hand. Thumb, index, middle, ring, and your pinky. And for both hands, they're the same. Thumb will always be finger number 1. Index will be finger number 2. Middle finger is finger number 3. Ring finger for finger number 4. And pinky for finger number 5. So one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, there it is. The very basics of the piano, how to sit properly, and just make sure next time if you're starting to practice piano, get a good posture. That'll help you a lot with practicing. Well, this has been Kevin here with the first episode, and I'll see you again in episode number 2.